Hi, welcome to another Power Blast podcast. Want to know how to build a home gym on a budget? Stay tuned. Hey everyone, Perry Tinsley here, creator of the Power Blast podcast and owner of PutYourselfFirst.com. I'm a health and fitness coach and about to help you today if you're looking to build a home gym on a budget. And I'm just going to I'm actually going to take you into my home gym, show you some of the equipment that I'm using, some of the things that are kind of essential, and other things that are maybe just some additions that you want to add over time. You see, the benefits of a home gym, while I love having access to going to a gym or a fitness center of some sort, I think that's crazy awesome if you get to that or you get to classes. But sometimes the benefits of having a home gym, at least what I've discovered, is it saves you time, or it can save you time, or possibly even save you money as opposed to paying gym membership fees. Not to say that gym membership fees, when if you're getting the value out of it, that's one thing. But if you're paying the fees and just not using it, well, that's another. I know for me, I went to the gym. I absolutely loved doing it, but I didn't get nearly as good a results as when I worked out from home. Now, there's some things that I did when I did work out from home. I'm not saying that just having a home gym will instantly get you to results. You got to put in some work and you got to follow a plan and stuff like that. But I'm going to just jump downstairs and take you into my home gym. You'll probably notice a little bit of an audio change because I'm going to film it on my iPhone. So a little bit there, but besides the point, I want to take you through, show you some of the essentials, and then show you some of the things that might be some nice additions over time. Let's go. All right, here I am. As far as doing your home gym, you kind of want to consider what room you're going to have your home gym in. Are you going to have it in an area that is like in your basement or an extra room? Or I think an ideal space would be like a 12 by 12 space if you're going to work out. So you can do some lunges and maybe some agility work, things like that. But some things to consider as you're looking at the room, what you're going to do. If you're going to do some sort of jumping type of training, you want to make sure the ceiling is going to give you that space. If you're going to do any type of pull-ups, you'll want to make sure that you have room for a tower or room for like a doorway gadget. I'll show you mine, of what mine looks like. Just other things, is your room a heavily used room where if you're going to try and get your workout in, are other people competing for that room like they want to be in there? For instance, I work out in my living room. So I'm going to just show you some of the things that I use in here. And if other people are in your house saying, oh, I want to, the TV's mine, and you're going to maybe do a workout using a streaming service or a DVD or something like that, you may need to jockey for time and actually budget and do some negotiating. So those are some things to consider as you're going through and deciding, putting together their home gym. A lot of times people will just have an extra additional room, but I'm going to tell you this: while you're doing your, if you're doing like a basement or doing an additional room, don't put off your workouts until you have it done. You can make use of your living room, just like I do, and get some workouts done in addition to while you're waiting for and creating your own little workout space. So here's what I've got. For those of you that have watched me for years, you know that for years I used to use my bedroom as my workout facility. Now I use the living room. So here's some things that I think, really depending on your goal of what you're wanting to accomplish. Now, for instance, I just wanted to lose the belly fat and I just wanted to do some strength and cardio training, right? So some of the equipment that I thought was pretty essential in mine. I didn't have a lot of money to go and spend on a lot of things. So I added things over time. But I'm going to tell you what, a good chunk of my workouts was done using resistance bands. Now, there's a lot of different colors that you can get, and each color coordinates to a different pound resistance that you can do. But I mean, I know you can't see it totally here, but I was just doing the loops underneath my foot and doing a lot of arm curls and a lot of kickbacks and a lot of shoulder press sort of things. So this was my tool for a long time, and body weight exercises. The other thing that I went out and got was just a simple 20-pound, this was mine. I got a set of 20-pound dumbbells. But if you're just starting out and maybe 20 pounds is going to be too much for you, maybe it's 5 or 10s. Before you start adding on to your set. For me, I wanted to say, is there a workout plan that I could commit to and stick to before I go out and buy a bunch of stuff? Now, I know a lot of times people will go out and buy the Bowflex stuff, and they'll invest a lot of money in something and then think that that's going to keep them committed to their workout program. And for me, that's kind of like me going out and saying, you know what, I'm gonna buy these really high expensive golf clubs because it's gonna make me golf more often. No, if I want to golf more often, I just commit to golfing more often. It doesn't matter the price of the clubs I have. Yeah, I may want to upgrade at some point. So, think about that when you're investing in your equipment. Make it something that you're just going to commit to. If you find that going and spending the money for a big set of equipment or whatever it is, if that will actually help you stay committed to your workout plan, way cool. I've bought treadmills in the past and elliptical machines and stuff like that. And they were kind of short-lived, and then they became elaborate coat hangers for me and clothing racks that we didn't use. So anyway, consider that as you're building your home gym. For me, I just knew that I just wanted to follow a plan that was simple and that didn't, it didn't take a ton of time, but it was very doable. So the resistance band I thought was important. Maybe it's a set of dumbbells. There are programs with some of the stuff with our streaming service and even on DVD. Some programs don't even require equipment. You can just totally use your body weight. We've got some MMA programs that do. If you've heard of the program Insanity, that's all body weight, or Insanity Max 30. So those are some kind of cool things. But you're gonna need the space on some of those deals. If you're doing yoga, for instance, let me bring the camera with you. If you're doing yoga, I found, I didn't start with this right away, but I found just having a yoga block was really, really helpful because I was not super bendy to get down to the floor, and being able to use this kind of like making it like an extra extender to the ground really helped out. But, and we have like a 3-week yoga program, very simple. Basic, if you're just starting out. So I'm just talking about the things, if you're just starting out and you're finding that you're on a budget, those are some things that you want to consider. The space, the amount of ceiling, the traffic of the room, and then the simple equipment to get it done. Now, if you don't want to do any of the streaming workouts that we have, there are other services out there, I think there's one called the Daily Burn. You can go on YouTube and probably find some workouts that you can do with just body weight, like push-ups and squats and stuff like that. But if you know me and if you've been following my podcast for years, you know I say follow a plan. Don't just guess your way through it, because all you're going to do is just do a bunch of work and not get any results, and you're going to get frustrated and you're going to stop. So at least follow a plan. That's going to happen. My plan, starting with, I was doing a program called Power 90. There's a new one called P90 now. Same thing, just using some resistance bands and a little bit of space. Boom, you got it. Okay, so just some other things that I do use that I think in time are worth adding on to your into your equipment repertoire. One is some push-up stands. I just bought these little bitty ones only because I think they go together and they travel well. It's from a company called Perfect Push-Up, and I just like how low they are. But I'm going to tell you what, I actually have my favorite favorite kind of push-ups. I'm gonna bring you over here. You gotta check this thing out. We've got this little, you see this little ottoman here? This ottoman, it actually opens up. We've got a bunch of equipment in there for that, that we store for our workouts, so it doesn't clutter up the living room. But these push-up stands by Tony Horton called power stands, I absolutely love. I think they're kind of my go-to push-up stands. I just like the wide grip, and it just helps support my wrist. But you might not need push-up stands at all. I have wrist issues, so they really help me. I've got a variety of resistance bands that I also use from time to time. I have added on some extra weights. Now this was kind of a splurge. This is not essential. This is kind of a splurge. I'm gonna tip the camera down here, and you can see we've got a set of what's called Select Tech dumbbells, and these things have little dials on them with numbers, and whatever number you switch it to, that's how much weight it is. And so if I dial it back to like 15 on each side, when I lift, it gives me just the amount of weight that's 15 pounds. It's kind of cool. These go up to 52 pounds. There's another version that goes up to 90 some odd pounds. And the cool thing is it's not a whole big bunch of dumbbells all over the place taking up space. But that's another one of those things that in time, it seems like if the timing's right, or if you find a special, you know, a good deal online, sometimes they have like a really big discount with free shipping, then you can add those on. They're not totally necessary, but I think it's pretty good. Now, if you are doing a program, let's say like Hammer and Chisel or P90X, a lot of you are big fans of that, I'm gonna take you in and show you my little pull-up station and some of the things that are nice to have there. Okay, when it comes to pull-ups, one of the things, I bought a pull-up tower way back when, and it used to just fit really nicely into a little corner. But when I moved, the space needed to be used for some other things. And so it kind of became this really big thing that really wasn't getting used. So we went out and bought this little thing. It's a little door attachment, and actually we take it off each time. And I'm gonna just show you how it just assembles here. So all you do is, my voice is gonna be a little bit far away here, is that top brace just fits over on the back side. It just fits over the edge of this. Now you gotta make sure that, of course, you have a doorway that will do that, and it's wide enough. I do have another one of these pull-up braces or whatever, pull-up bars, but it's too wide. So it doesn't fit into this little corner space. But the ledge is really good there, and you know, it can hold quite a bit and back down. Now my feet do hit the ground when it comes, so I have to bend my knees a little bit. Another cool, so that if you're doing P90X or anything like that, that is kind of a must-have, is the pull-up thing. But there are little gadgets that you can buy. I'll actually take you over and show you that in a second. One of these nice to have things that I find so valuable, it's called a chin-up assist, a pull-up assist. Over the years, my shoulders just haven't, they kind of get a little bit weaker. So what it is this little hook goes over the pull-up bar, and there are 3 bands there and a little foot strap that you do. When you've got it there, all you do is you put your foot in the little strap like that, and then it kind of takes away some of that resistance as you're going, so you're able to still get the good range of motion with your pull-ups, but you're not doing the full body weight as a pull-up. Then as you get stronger, you can decrease that resistance and be able to eventually not use it. Now for me, I'm still using it, and it works out perfect, no shame in that. Another option here is a door attachment. Let me show you that. Okay, I'm in another part of my house here, but we have just a little door attachment thing that we've just literally looped around
the hinge, and then all you do is you grab your resistance band, loop it around there, and then what you have is the ability to do, I know I'm coming at you this way, but to do some presses, or if you're turned around, to do some pull-up sort of exercises. So you're still working the upper back and the lats and all the benefits of getting the pull-up. Now the pull-up is kind of one of those things that a lot of people prize themselves to try and conquer in programs like P90X. But while it's not a must-have if you're not doing that program, it may be something you want to consider down the line. So seriously, if you're looking to just start out with your home, your home gym, that's some simple stuff that you can do. And some of the gadgets that you can add on over time, there's some other things that I didn't show you, like little, sliders and stuff like that. And sometimes those are program specific. And you really don't need until you're doing those programs. Speaking of programs, for years I've just done home workout programs from Beachbody, the DVDs, and I own like a ton of them. But now they've kind of got like this Netflix-like service called Beachbody On Demand. And seriously, if you take a look, I know that you're not being able to see it here, but literally there's a member library of a ton of these workout programs. And then when you click on one of them, within there are all of the different workouts. And if you go online on your computer, you can download all the workout guides and the nutrition guides and the workout calendar, because I said follow a plan, right? And that's what got me results. And that's essentially what you're wanting to do. You're not doing the home gym because you want the fact of exercising occasionally when you might think about it, and you're wanting to get results, right? And so while I think going to a gym and taking classes and everything is totally awesome, your home can be either that alternative to that, and in addition to, on those days when you don't feel like getting out and going to the gym and doing leg day, you can fire up On Demand, or you can grab a DVD and get leg day done right there in your house. Whether it's your living room with just a little bit of equipment, or a designated area of your house, and you have decided, this is what I'm committing to. I think having, if you're going to stream this stuff, if you're going to have these programs, you can use your iPhone or your smartphone. You can use an iPad, your laptop, or if you've got something like what we have a Roku. Some people have Apple TV or Amazon Fire. You can just download the little Beachbody On Demand app. You've got to sign up for Beachbody On Demand, right? But and you can check that in the show notes. I'll give you a link if you want to do more research on it. But and even take advantage of the free trial. Why not, right? But just get in there and play around and follow one of those programs and watch what happens in 90 days in your own home gym, in your own home, and maybe even compare the results and say, am I getting as good of results at the gym or at home? Or if you're not doing anything, well, why not start at the home and get yourself healthy and fit? So there's the home gym. There's some tips there of what you can do on a budget. And then if you want to splurge a little bit, some other additional equipment that you can get. And if you're really fired up and you want to get one of those big home gym sort of things and you're committed to using it and following that, more power to you.
All right, that's all I have from the home gym. A couple of things that popped into my head as I was coming back up here after I recorded that is one of the nice things that you may add over time. I know I did over time, many, many years over time, was a workout bench. You don't have to start with that, but if you can score one on Craigslist or something like that, that's kind of cool. Or, the ottoman that I showed you that I opened up, I actually use that as kind of my bench. Or you could use one of those stability balls as a weight bench. That also works as well. There's ways to accommodate. You could use the floor, but sometimes you don't get that range of motion going back with your elbows to do that. So that just popped in my head as I was coming back up here. So I hope you found value in this podcast. And if you find somebody could really benefit from these tips, or if they're considering building a home gym and looking for some solutions, please, you can share this podcast with them. I'd so appreciate it. Or just post it on your social. That would be awesome. Or if anybody has any questions, you can email me, perrytinsley@gmail.com. That works as well. And if you have questions about the Beachbody On Demand workouts, I mean, we've got our whole library there, and I don't have time in this podcast to tell you about all of them. But there is a free trial that you can go in and just play around with and use, and some good 1 week type of fitness programs in there that you can accomplish within your free trial and see how the results are working for you. Once again, you don't always need a lot of equipment, just a little bit of space in your place. I've even traveled using some of these workout programs with limited space in a hotel room and gotten a great result using just body weight types of moves. So we have just body weight type of programs. But if you have something that requires a little bit more with the equipment sort of things, like when I was doing Power 90 or doing P90X, you just kind of add it on. And one other thing that popped in my head is consider the floor. What's the flooring beneath you? Because if it's really hard wood or hard tile, you may want to consider getting something like a jump mat, like a plyometric mat if you're going to do any jumping. I know I did when I had hardwood floors. Now we have carpet. So if I'm going to do, like some planks or something like that on my elbow, then another piece of equipment that I added on was just kind of like either a yoga mat or even just kind of a little foam mat that you can put under your elbows and do some work there. So there's a lot of equipment that you can add up over time, but those are the simple essentials. Just kind of a resistance band, maybe some dumbbells, maybe a towel, and if you're doing P90X stuff, a pull-up bar, maybe some push-up stands, but you don't need that if your wrists are pretty decent. I so appreciate you for subscribing. And hey, speaking of subscribing, if you go into your podcast app or over into the iTunes store and give an honest rating and review of Power Blast Podcast, that would really, really be super cool. Help more people find this show. And I don't know if you knew this or not. I bet you did, but others may not. Power Blast Podcast actually comes in a video version and an audio version. So if you're listening to this and you wanted to see what was in the living room, or they see some of the equipment, just go and do a search for Power Blast Podcast and grab the video version. And if you're watching and you're like, you know what, I'm going to be driving in my car, I don't have time, the ability to watch and be distracted, then go and subscribe to the audio version. Then you'll have that. I try to explain things so you can just get it in audio form and totally make sense of what's there. We're also on YouTube. If you want to subscribe to that channel, just do a search for Power Blast Podcast or Perry Tinsley, and you're bound to find that show. I so appreciate you, my friend. Remember, it's never too late. We'll see you next week.